The object here is to get to the truth. And that's why we need this lawsuit more than ever.
Wait, so is this breaking news, George? Have you stated this before
publicly? Nope, this is breaking news.
So George Webb suing Donnie O'Sullivan
personally
and CNN.
And CNN.
Wow.
And spoliation notice, retain all records, Donnie. For you to have the gall to put that out after I sent you Ken Hale's death threats of me, and you suppressed that, Donnie. I didn't suppress that. You did. Okay? You came up with some pictures of some people typing on a computer that said bad things about the people in question. I did not ever condone any negative comments toward those folks. I never would ever condone violence against those folks. I'm putting you personally on notice, Donnie. You are going to be sued by me for defamation. This is a 3-year Javert pursuit of me as a journalist for telling the truth about your friends who do these kind of things. And these end up in hundreds of thousands of people dying, innocent people dying as collateral damage in these games and machinations. So Donnie, you are now put under notice, and you at CNN, Jim Sciutto, you, Poppy Harlow, you, Brian Seltzer, will all be witnesses. You're all fact witnesses. And you should be, all those folks that are in your cabal, Donnie, should be held personally liable. But I'm only coming after your assets, Donnie, and the assets of Jeff Zucker at CNN. So
you heard it here first, folks. George Webb, investigative reporter, is suing the Communist News Network and Donnie O'Sullivan.
And I'll do that personally. There will be no commingling of funds for the fund of suing YouTube. That's a completely separate thing. That's for YouTube journalists. That's to preserve YouTube journalists. We keep that totally separate. And I'm going to work for YouTube journalists in this election before I preserve my personal rights. But this sort of harassment that Donnie O'Sullivan's doing has to be stopped. At some point, it has to be stopped.
And this is a long time coming, George.
I've been very, very patient with him, extremely patient. And to bring this up right now when I'm trying to defend the rights of YouTube journalists is again, with a very one-sided report that suppressed the most important part of the story, which was I was the one being threatened. And not only being threatened, but somebody who was very credible, somebody who had held high positions in the State Department, held high positions in the military, had top secret clearance on a military base, making very credible threats about killing my family with biological weapons and killing my family with flamethrowers. That was suppressed by Donnie O'Sullivan.
Wow. So we had no knowledge of this beforehand, folks. George did not let us know that he was going to make this announcement.
I didn't either until Dave said that about Donnie posting that. I can't believe it. Here's a guy who can't get his name right. I mean, and he has the gall to do that during my show. Are you kidding me?
Here we are, folks.
I'd end it right there. I mean, I think that's the headline. You know,
with Addy ads, Detroit Dave Underdown, and the incomparable Deep Journo, aka George Webb, GW, supporting journalists everywhere and freedom of speech, civil rights. This is the front line, people. The United States of America is the front line for these civil rights. And we aren't the biggest country in the world, but we're the most powerful and the most free in many ways. But we're losing that freedom day by day. And it's due to shills like Donnie Sullivan that this stuff has been going on. So, breaking news, George Webb is suing Donnie O'Sullivan and CNN.
Right.
You heard it here first, folks, on the Addy Ads channel. And they knocked him off BitChute. They knocked him off YouTube.
Vimeo.
They knocked him off Vimeo. They knocked him off anywhere they could. He still has his Twitter, though. So people go to George Webb's Twitter, GEORG Webb with 2 B's. You can also check out my Twitter, Addy Ads, spelled out ONEADDYADDS.
Okay, and I haven't filed yet, but that did it right there. I can't even believe that he would mention his egregious reporting. So there you go. I'll leave it right there. Lawyer up, Donnie. You've got to be stopped. This pursuit of this is like monomaniacal attack on someone who's just trying to tell the truth. I'm just trying to show how your friends dealt with all the yellow cake coming out of the Western states and why it ended up in Iran and why it probably is ended up in China right now. I think the American people have a right. We won the Cold War, Donnie. That uranium was supposed to come to the United States, not to China from Russia through your friends. Okay. So it's time to learn how to do journalism. You're going to get a schooling the hard way, and I can't wait to see you in court.
So we're keeping it short and sweet here, folks. And we'll see everybody tomorrow, right, George?
Sounds great.
Awesome. So this has been the recap of the YouTube journalists strike back. Breaking news, George Webb is suing Donie O'Sullivan and CNN as an individual. Detroit Dave Underdown, thank you for joining me, as well as Tom CIA. And we will see everybody tomorrow.
Hey Tom CIA, say hi.
Hi, everybody.
And bye.
And bye.
Stay frosty, folks.
Stay frosty, everyone.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.